Hello everyone, Uday here, a maths faculty at ADCI. Today we have Mr. Akash Dharwad who has cleared his first NDA attempt. Could you just tell me what is your experience during the exam and before the exam?
So before the exam, I identified that most of the syllabus in the exam was maths because it had a separate paper itself. So as I knew that my maths was a little bit weak, so I had worked on it in the past 2 years, and I also recognized that most of the syllabus in class 11th was similar to the NDA exam, and the maths syllabus which is in the paper, and hence I practiced with the state board books, that is maths 1 and maths 2, and also the MFN. That as most of the topics were similar, I had to just focus on the topic, build my concepts, and practice most sums. So I had done that to improve my maths, and as my GAT was pretty strong from 9th and 10th itself, because I had studied from ICC textbooks, hence it helped me a lot to practice and give for my preparation for the ND written examination.
Okay. So as you said, your GAT was a bit stronger. So it is very important to know what is a particular student's strength and weakness.
Yes.
Accordingly, he has to manage things.
Yeah.
Okay. And could you just tell me how was your experience about maintaining the notebooks?
Maintaining the notebooks is also important, because if a student writes down something, draws, makes diagrams, or just points out something in the notebook, it creates something of a muscle memory in the brain, that we tend to remember things for a greater extent if we write down something by our own hands and not just listen or hear something. So making notebooks, creating notes helps us to remember things for a longer time, and it also helps us in a very quick revision if our notes are made in a proper way. So it helps us that we can just look at it at a glance, like this is a topic, these are the main points, and we could easily recall that whatever we have written. So maintaining notes and writing down points in the notebooks helps us a lot to revise and practice.
Okay, and what is the importance of attending all the lectures regularly, especially at ADCI?
At ADCI, it was a new thing for me that lectures are being taken from morning 6 to night 9 or 10. So as the lectures are for a long time, students are able to get things in a flow, which doesn't happen in other classes or in the school. In school, we get only lectures of 40 minutes, but in ADCI, the lectures are very long, and the teacher is continuously teaching, and there is a proper flow of thoughts in the teacher. But in school, what happens is a lecture ends within 40 minutes, and he has to continue the next day. So that breaks the flow of the teacher, and hence at ADCI, as there are lectures for a very long period of time, it is very beneficial for student, because in a day's time, many topics are being covered, and also a chapter could be finished in a day's time. So it is very helpful that long lectures are there in ADCI.
Okay, at ADCI generally we see there are so many teachers teaching the same chapter or maybe more than 2 chapters at a time. So what is the benefit of that? I mean, here at ADCI.
So at ADCI, as for a particular subject, there are many teachers, and hence different teachers come and teach the same topic sometimes, and it helps the student to build perspective on the particular concept. That if one teacher teaches in the type A, other will teach something B, and both these things are very helpful in solving sums or in also writing exams, because in exam we can't guess that this sum will only come in A type. It also can come in B and C. So as there are many teachers in ADCI, it helps us build perspective on the same sum, and also to think that how could this sum be solved or cracked. So yes.
So it is very important now. I mean, if a particular student knows how to solve a particular problem in different ways,
Yes.
so it builds the confidence as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me about your experience during the exam.
During the exam, as we know, it is a very completely different environment there. We sit in a hall, all the students are there, everything is quiet, and the time is continuously flowing. And as we are solving the paper, we are just continuously thinking about the sum. Ye kaise karenge, ye kaise karenge, ye kaise karenge. And in that time, we don't even know that how 2.5 hours get over or finished. So we must be very alert in solving the questions, and we should also have a track of time, that how much time is left and how much time should be given to a particular question in solving, and we should also know that how we should leave the questions and not just stick to it if it is not being able to solve. So in the exam, you have to manage our time, solve the easy ones first, and some questions which are of mediocre level, that it requires some basic calculations, 1 or 2 steps, and then move on. Because if we stick to a particular question, the time will get over. And
So have you practiced the same thing during the preparation?
Yeah, before the preparation in ADCI, practice tests were taken 15-20 days before each day. Both the papers were given, maths and GAT. So in these papers also I have practiced the same, that solving the easy and the mediocre one first and the hard ones at the last, because just solving them and taking them in the paper and moving on, because that helps us to maintain the speed and also the flow of thoughts which are going on while solving the questions.
So you mean to say that last month test series really helped you?
Yes, because I was affected with dengue. I had lost track of everything. That I felt that I had done nothing, and because if a student gets ill in those last few days before the exam, he'll obviously feel little nervous. But in ADCI, I got to know that in the last 30-25 days, test papers are being conducted. So it helped me for a quick and an effective revision, and also to clear concepts, and also remember whatever I thought that I had forgotten before the exam.
Okay. Tell me your experience about SSB.
My SSB experience was very good. I made quite a few friends, and we also played a lot during the free time. And as there were different tests that I had been giving it for the first time, and SSB I think is a very easy thing, but it is a mental blockade in the students, because they think that you have to speak very high level English, everyone is strict, but it is not that. We can also practice at our own level and improve upon ourselves, because the English required there is quite simple, but we should be confident and our English should be smooth enough that we should be able to communicate, and our flow of thoughts should reach the other person.
So how have you prepared your SSB before the exam?
Before the exam, I prepared for the SSB at my level itself, that whatever I could do, I will do. I had been writing down on a notebook some article or some small essay or paragraph type of thing, and practicing it in the front of mirror, because when we practice in front of the mirror, we could see our expressions, that how are we looking or what are we saying, or we are more alert while we see ourselves speaking. So this has helped me a lot to improve my communication.
And does it help that, I mean, if a particular student is preparing for SSB, so it is important for that student to make some group, so that, I mean, he or she can prepare?
Yeah, it is not important but beneficial for the student. It is on the student's own will, that he should know that how much more he should need to improve. And I had done the same thing. I had selected a few group of my friends, and we had decided that we will only speak in English, because in SSB everyone there communicates in English, and here or at home we speak in our mother tongue or in the local language, whatever there it is. So at the SSB, if you are not accustomed to speaking English continuously, we might fumble, or our confidence might go low, because we are not confident enough to speak English continuously for 4 or 5 days. So it always helps.
Our whole attention goes to that English only.
Because if we will continuously keep thinking that मैं अच्छा नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मेरे को क्या समझेंगे, GTO मेरे को कम मार्क्स देंगे. तो if we are accustomed to that English speaking for days or for months, it is always beneficial there, because in SSB we are always under pressure, and under pressure we will always be thinking about the English, that how are we speaking, are we making a good impression, and so on. Yeah.
Okay. Last but not the least, could you just suggest, I mean, for new aspirants, I mean, how can they go about this particular exam?
For new aspirants, I would like to say that while preparing for the examinations in this period of 2 years, that is 11th and 12th, we must always have the process in mind, not the goal. Always, I mean, the goal should be there, that I have to crack my ND written in the first attempt, but we must not be thinking about it for continuously. That अगर first attempt में क्या हो, अगर हुआ नहीं, तो teachers क्या बोलेंगे, मैंने इतनी मेहनत की, क्या होगा? तो फिर it somewhat creates a kind of mental pressure, that if what not in the first attempt, then what? Then the second attempt, then फिर first year engineering करनी पड़ेगी, फिर first attempt, second attempt वापस देना पड़ेगा. So we must always focus on the process, whatever we are doing. We must always work upon ourselves and not think about the goal. And if we work continuously and work hard, and luck will always favor the hard workers. So if we work upon ourselves and build that confidence that we are able to give the exams and crack it in the first attempt itself, then it is a very good thing, that, and we should not always think about the goal. Yeah.
So thank you, Akash. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.